I'm Oprah as a dude, and I love you all.
Right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Reyes Reflection podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the pod anywhere you listen, like, comment, share, and head over to your socials and follow me at I'm Nathanael Reyes. Let me talk about those peeps that allowed this to happen. Jocko Fuel, clean fuel without compromise. It is that time of the year. Pumpkin spice protein is back for a limited time, so make sure you get yours. Mad Rabbit Tattoo Aftercare. Be bold, be you. As seen on Shark Tank, they also have daily washes, lotions, and more. Again, use that code Raise Reflection at checkout for a discount. A-Rave cards, completing sets one card at a time. Streams frequently on Whatnot, so get yourself started on your Pokemon card collection today. And lastly, smacking sunflower seeds with a variety of flavors such as their cinnamon churro, garlic parm, and cheddar jalapeno. Get yourself some to snack on and use my exclusive link for a discount on your order. Now, enter time for my next guest. In my opinion, two things can be great: two socks, two gloves, two hands on the wheel. New York, New York, the city's so nice they named it twice. And two episodes with this wonderful guest. I had her on the show for what feels like almost a year at this point, but I just looked and it's only been a few months, but a lot has changed since then, but some things still remain the same. She is still an incredible singer and songwriter. She is still someone who I would take to in a street fight. You know her, you love her, and y'all can keep calling her Taylor Swift, but I will call her Zoe Levert. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
Thank you so much for doing this. I know we were trying to figure out, but we made it work. I'm glad we were able to do this.
Yeah, me too.
All right, perfect. So it's so good to have you back on the pod. I'm super excited for it. I've actually been preparing for this episode for a while, but before we do, hold on. I don't know why I decided to wear a hoodie. So just 1 second, okay?
You're fine.
All right. All right. It's good to see you. Okay. All right. Hey, did you do something different with your hair? Looking a little different now.
I don't know, just a little something, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been a while since we've seen each other, so I was just making sure. I know that things can change, people's hairstyles, people's shows, personalities, things like that. They can all switch. So
Yeah, I thought this was Reba McEntire. I was like, whoa, am I back on The Voice right now?
I tried to find an Ariel wig because the last time on the pod you said that Ariel was your favorite Disney
Oh yeah,
princess.
I can't believe you remember that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Of course. All right. The reveal is done. I'm going to take it off now.
I was wondering, I was like, is this about to be a bit or is he actually just needs to take his hoodie off? Like
It's a bit. It's a complete bit. Complete bit. Anyways, again, it is so good to have you back. I'm glad that you took the time again to sit with me. So, talk to me. What's going on? What's new?
Yeah, so I made it all the way to the top 12 on The Voice, which was crazy. Had no idea, truly like did not think I was gonna make it that far. I just wanted to get a chair turn, y'all. And so that was awesome. And then, I was eliminated in the first round of the lives, which honestly my goal was to make it to the live shows. So I was like, amazing, slay. And you kind of get back home and you're like, okay, what's next? Like my whole life was about The Voice for a while. And what do I do outside of that? And so I have been writing a lot. I've been working with some other writers, getting into some co-writing sessions. Working on recording some stuff. Hopefully we'll be releasing music soon, doing shows, playing any restaurants or venues that will have me, and just trying to get more experience and get my name out there. So yeah.
I did see that. I saw that you were looking for a singer songwriter, and I was in my head. I go, man, I really wish I was good at singing because I totally would throw my name in that hat, and say, hey, Zoe, you should choose me.
Yeah, I had posted something about anyone want to co-write with me, and social media is a great way to get people to write with you. Writing is the main thing I want to do with my career and write for other people. And so, if you ever decide you want to be a writer, hit me up.
All right, all right. I also saw that you are going to perform in about a month. Is that right?
Yes, so I have my first headlining show at this venue in downtown Baton Rouge called the Basin. And this is my first like Zoe Levert show. It'll be all my songs with like a few covers thrown in there. And I'm so excited. I'm a little nervous because um I've never done a show where I'm the headliner. I've always been an opener or featured for other people. And so but I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. And when is that show?
Yeah, that show is gonna be September 20th, 2024, this year. And there's an act before me. The first act goes on at 9, and then I follow right after them.
Oh, what headliner? You got it. That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
How's hubby? How's everything going over there?
It's absolutely amazing. My wedding was already planned. The date was already set when before the voice was even, in the mix at all. And so getting married in the middle of filming The Voice, probably wouldn't recommend that to anyone else. It was a little stressful. But we didn't want to, couldn't change the date or anything like that. But all of the stress and all of it is just so worth it when you're with the right person. And so my husband is amazing. He's also a musician. He's my band leader and MD right now for our upcoming shows. And I love married life. I love being with someone who's also a creative and who supports me in this insane career. And so, yeah, I love married life. Life has only gotten better since being married.
Life is just completely different when you're with the right person, and when you're with that right person and you know it in your heart, life just takes a different meaning. I remember reading one time and he said food tastes different, music sounds different, the way the air hits your face feels different because you're in this happy, healthy relationship. You're with the person that God has lined up with you, and that's just what I believe. It was a devotional about love and marriage and relationships, and he said that it's just when you know that God has put that person in your life and pointed you in the right direction, you feel it in every moment, even when maybe you're frustrated with them, maybe when you're annoyed, you still feel it because you feel that love, and you're like, wait a minute, no, this is the person God picked for me. He handpicked this for me, and that's what I believe. Obviously, the good Lord doesn't make mistakes, and God picked the right man for you, and amen to that. Because it sounds like you're doing great, my friend.
Not you just preaching right now. Like, okay, pop off.
All right, Nathaniel, come on now. Here we go. On the show, I'm not sure who said it, either Maluma or Keith Urban, but you said that songwriting is really your passion. I know you touched up on it earlier. Have you worked on anything lately? Are you planning on taking a back seat to singing and really just pursuing songwriting instead? What is your plan with songwriting?
Yeah, so I do always tell people that my favorite part of this career is the writing. I write every single day. I try to make time for it every day. Obviously, there's some days where life is crazy, but I have just hundreds of songs ready to be worked on, ready to be released, some that I might want to give to another artist. But writing is definitely like my true passion, but I love the performing, and I love to sing, and there's nothing like being on stage, and it's just so electrifying. And so when it comes to what's going to take the forefront of my career, that honestly, I'm just kind of leaving it up to God right now. I have aspirations to be a worship artist and also a secular artist, and a writer and an artist. And um I whatever God has planned for me, which I know it seems like a cop out answer, but I would truly be happy just as a writer, just as a kind of a backseat role for other people, but also as a recording artist. And so we'll see what happens. I've had a few doors open recently, and trying to just lean into that and keep getting better so that when the right opportunity comes along, I'm prepared for it.
Are you allowed to talk about those doors that have opened up?
Not at all.
Okay, okay. So in other words, you're gonna have to do a part three at some point because we're gonna have to discuss these open doors, is what you're saying.
Oh, for sure. For
Oh,
sure.
that's awesome. Obviously, The Voice is a national exposure, and with that comes good and bad, right? There's pros and cons. There's people who now have a vested interest in your life and can be supportive of that, but can also be negative to that. What are some positives that you have taken post show?
Yeah, positives are definitely the support is amazing. I mean, I think Louisiana is a big part of that. the way that my state has just rallied around me, especially when it was time to get to the voting part of The Voice. Local restaurants putting on little watch parties for me, and I have this huge social media following now of people that care about me and my music. And so a lot of support. I have people that watch my videos now and they're like, I'm so excited for you, I'm rooting for you. There's a lot of positive affirmation that comes with it. And I finally have a little bit of an audience, and so I don't take that lightly. I got gained a lot of fans from The Voice, and I just want to make them all proud.
What are some big adjustments that you have had to make post show where maybe you used to do, or maybe used to post, or maybe used to talk about, but now you've dialed it back just because you do have this audience and you're trying to be mindful? And the reason why I say that is because the way you talk when you have an audience of maybe 10 people is different than the way you would talk if you've had 10,000 people, just because now you have a larger base, large contingent of people that might misinterpret. So I'm just curious, what adjustments have you made as an artist, as a person, if there are even any?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely pay attention to what I post a little bit more now, in terms of I find when I'm recording my little singing videos, I'm like, oh, this one has to be perfect because people are watching now. And so I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. I think having an audience makes you want to be better. Sometimes that imposter syndrome kicks in and you're like, why am I in this position? I don't deserve this at all. But then you have people in, there's social media life and then there's real life. You have your people in real life that help you remind yourselves that, you worked hard for this and you deserve this. And um, yeah, so I think I work a lot harder. I think I, still remain authentic while also protecting my privacy. I always say Zoe Levert is me as an artist, but then Zoe Turner, which is my married name, is just me as a person outside of being an artist. And so still authentic, but maybe protective over certain aspects of my life a little bit more now.
Oh, you have to be, right? I was going to be facetious and say, wait a minute, everything you post on social media is not real life. It's not exactly who you are to the T. And you just have to be mindful and protective of just what you care about and what your social circle is, and just even your loved ones. And I feel like that's just a smart way to be, personally. And I commend that that's what you do, because I think some people can take that newfound fame and that newfound fandom and then start to really, really push themselves out, which now then you're allowing certain things and, more problems, more people kind of following you for the wrong reasons, not necessarily because they're interested in your music or even just you as an artist. And so I'm glad that you have taken those steps cautiously to protect you, your privacy, your family, because that is a really big deal. I make the joke with people. I say, you have to be careful on social media, because whenever you watch those superhero movies, do you ever realize that they never go after the hero? They always go after the person that the hero is closest to.
Mm, yeah.
And I'm not saying that you and I are both superheroes, maybe. I don't know. No.
No,
Uh,
no.
and all I'm saying is I've never seen Zoe and Wonder Woman in the same person. So I don't know. You never know.
No
No, but
comment.
neither confirm nor deny. You're trying to protect your privacy, right? No, but in all seriousness, they never attack the hero, right? They always attack the person that's closest to them. So a lot of times you almost have to be mindful of that, just because you want to protect even your loved ones, because now they can sit there and say, well, I know I'm not getting to this person, so let me go bother this person. And so I'm right there with you. I'm very protective and I'm very mindful of what I post, and even just who I post to,
Yeah,
or who I'm open sharing certain details with, just
yeah,
because you never know what somebody could go ahead and try to put out, especially for you. I'm not nowhere in the scale of you, hopefully one day, but you just being on national television, that's a large scale.
yeah,
That's as big as it gets. So I'm glad that you take that and use it responsibly, right? With great
yeah,
power comes great responsibility, right? I mean, superheroes, right? That's what we are.
yeah. Well, and I also acknowledge that I'm very lucky to have this platform, and I'm very lucky to have people that care about my music. And so um you will never catch me complaining about any of the downsides that come with this industry, because I'm also just so grateful. Like, the gratitude outweighs the struggles. And as long as you have those people again in your real life, which for me that's my husband and my family and my sisters, to kind of keep you grounded, then it's a whole lot easier to deal with. And so I'm very lucky, and I'm also very much in the early stages of my career. And so I also have people that have been in the game longer helping me navigate all of this. And so yeah, I still feel very supported.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have some sort of mentorship, whether it be fame, singing, songwriting, booking shows, etc.?
Yeah. My number one person is gonna have to be Karen Waldrop, who she was on my season of The Voice. She was in the top 5 for Team Dan and Shay. Um, so yeah, Karen is also from Louisiana, and so she has done a couple of shows down here, and she actually invited me to be a featured performer at both of her Louisiana shows. And just getting to watch her in her element, I learned so much. But she's also the first person I call when I'm like, hey, do you have any advice on how I should market my next merch drop, or any other thing? Karen is just so talented, but a lot of people don't know she is an incredibly smart businesswoman and has built her brand from the ground up. And so yeah, Karen Waldrop is 100% close friend of mine, but also I look up to her and admire her so much, and she's definitely a mentor for me.
So you have merch coming out too? You just said a lot that I need to unpack. So you have merch, A. B, I appreciate the Dan and Shay reference from the ground up. So, and
Oh, I didn't
C,
even notice that.
and C, I interviewed Karen. I had the pleasure. She's an incredible person. So I'm so glad that you were able to have that as well. She's just a phenomenal person. Great interview. Please check that interview out as well. But circling back to you, you have merch now coming out too. That's really cool. What are you going to sell?
Yeah, so I have my first round of merch. I'm just doing t-shirts, and then those little like canvas tote bags that you see. And I'm going to be dropping it at my show. And so it'll be available to pre-order, and then it'll be available at my show. And then at some point I'll get some online website set up where you can buy it. But yeah, it makes me feel like a real musician. So
So
yeah.
cool. So cool. So we'll talk a little bit about The Voice right now. So on the live rounds, you were in the bottom 4. What was that process like? What is going on in Zoe's head as everyone that you see has been safe and now you have to perform essentially for your TV
Yeah.
life?
Yeah, that was a crazy day just in general. This is the first round where it's filmed live, and so there's definitely more speed to it. Like, we have a deadline. This will start airing regardless. And so it just moved a lot quicker, but The Voice does a great job of preparing you for that high pressure, fast paced environment. And so the bottom 4 moment, I mean, obviously nobody wants to be in the bottom 4, but the song that I had chosen for that moment was chosen with the intention of, if this is my last moment on the Voice stage, I just want to have fun. And so I chose Slow Burn by Casey Musgraves, which I have been a longtime fan of her. I love that song. It was already very familiar to me. Um, and I think you could tell in that performance, like, I really was just trying to have fun. I was trying to soak in the moment. I had talked to past voice contestants about, any advice for me for the live shows. And um, they were like, just soak it in. And so it was stressful, but I was also very present. And anytime I get stressed, I would just look at John, and he was just looking at me like a proud coach. And so it was still a very fun moment. Even though I was sent home right after that, I was very proud of myself.
I as well am very proud of you. I thought you did a fantastic job. And to go from a one chair turn to the lives
Yeah.
is that's got to be one of the best underdog stories on the show, in my opinion, because you said it yourself when I interviewed you the first time. you almost didn't even get that chair turn. It really was at the last minute. And so
Yeah.
to think you go through all these rounds to make it even to the lives, I take my hat off to you. I think you did a fantastic job, and you got to work with other cool superstars as well. Like I mentioned, Maluma, Keith Urban, of course, John Legend, your coach. Can you give me some of the biggest takeaways of working with stars like that?
Yeah, I said from the beginning, I feel like I was always meant to end up on John's team. I feel like he really saw me as an artist, especially on a stage like The Voice, where it's very showy, very powerhouse vibes, and I am neither of those things. And so, I'm definitely more in that folky, soulful vibe and a little bit more understated in the way that I sing. And so, in an artistry sense, I feel like John really saw me. He gave great advice. Musically, he's a very technical singer. I'm a very technical singer. I mean, it's John Legend. Like, he obviously knows his stuff. But then, from a mentorship perspective, um, I will never forget my first rehearsal with him was with me and the trio OK3. Love them. Uh, I think he could tell I was nervous. I mean, who wouldn't be? Um, and I remember him saying, Zoe, I just want you to sing like yourself. Don't try to outsing anybody. Don't try to just, show off for showing off's sake. I just want you to sing how you naturally sing because that's why you're here. And I'm not even sure if all of that aired or not, but it was so perfect that number one, he said that in the first round because it was like I was able to take that for the rest of the rounds. But it was just so genuine and authentic, and he didn't have to say that to me, and I thought that was really cool. Um, and then Keith Urban is amazing. I for that round, the knockout round, I was singing a song by the Chicks, and he had worked very closely with them, and so he had a lot of advice for me, and he really helped me with visualizing the person you're singing to when you're singing like a love song. So I remember him saying like, think about your cowboy. I was singing Cowboy Take Me Away. And for me, that's my husband, Ryan. And I think that just brought so much life to the song when I was able to tell the story and connect to it. Um, and then Maluma, he was so kind and so sweet. um I remember he told me like my voice, I sound like I'm like singing on a cloud or something really beautiful and poetic like that. And um he gave me a lot of advice about what it means to be an artist that's starting out, who's a little bit younger. And I was definitely on the younger side of contestants for my season. And so tons of affirmation. Even the coaches that I wasn't on their team like had so much advice for me. And I remember I would go home and I would write it all down in my journal, and so I still have all of their words of wisdom tucked away. So yeah.
That's awesome. So you always have a reference point to look back to and say, I remember this moment in
Mhm.
time. Did you
Oh yeah,
timestamp it? Yes.
I would always write the date, and I would always do it the same day because if not I would forget. And so because
Yeah.
there's so much going on, so yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's an overwhelming experience, but at the same time, such a beautiful experience for you, your career. I'm
Yeah.
so happy to see how far you'll be able to take it now that you have the experience of The Voice in your holster. I've never been on a show like that. I never will, but I hope to give you some advice right here. And that's just because your time on the show doesn't mean that your career ended. And I think
Mhm.
that a lot of the times people who have those experiences, they'll say, my time on The Voice or whatever competition show ended. That's it. And no, it's not. It's now the time to start your new, chapter. And the book is going to keep going as long as you're willing to write it. No pun intended for being a songwriter. But I really can't wait to see the great things that you continue to do post show. I said this on the last episode. You have a fan in life for me, and you always will. So I'm so proud of you. I think you're doing great things. I see everything that you're doing. You're working really hard,
Thank you.
and I really think that you have good people around you because it shows in your social media, it shows with your work, and I mean the sky's the limit, and God willing, you're going to do fantastic things. I truly believe that.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. That's so kind.
Of course, of course. Let's have some fun. All right. I want to go ahead and switch on to the fun now. Your favorite part, my favorite part. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do some burning questions right now, and then we're gonna play a couple games.
Okay, I'm
So
excited.
burning questions. What was your favorite middle school cafeteria lunch?
Ooh. Okay, I don't know if this counts as the entire lunch, but I was living in right outside New Orleans when I was in middle school, and they would bake these cookies, chocolate chip cookies that I would get every single day. Um, and they were like the best part of my lunch. So I'm just gonna say chocolate chip cookies were my favorite lunch in middle school.
Did they make you pay for them, or were you able to get them on top of your lunch?
No, I had to pay for them, but they were like literally $1. So I would like save all of my allowance and go and buy these cookies every day. And yeah, it was like a tradition. And then also because I lived in Louisiana, we did gumbo at school. And so that was always really good. So yeah.
Oh wow, you did gumbo. That's
Yeah.
soup, right? That's a type
Yeah.
of soup.
Yes, it is. Very Cajun.
Yes, yes. Is that cold soup?
No, so it's like you put it over rice. And so I mean ours was always like a chicken and sausage gumbo. But my favorite is like seafood gumbo. My dad makes it really good. So yeah. It's a cold weather food for sure because it's very warm.
Okay, I thought that was a soup that was served cold. I don't know why. I feel like there's a soup served cold. Again, I don't know too much about Louisiana history, so you know what? I have a foot in my mouth on that. No, I feel like I used to have those same cookies that were literally a dollar, and they came in that little bag. They came in a little
Yes.
bag for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to pay extra for them, but it was so worth it. And I did the same thing. I saved all the money I had for those cookies every day.
No, they were so good. Like I've never had a better one since, middle school. So
And the bag was almost like a wax paper bag. I don't know what
yes.
they did. Yeah, I think
Yes. It's the same one.
yes, I feel like we're on the same path. That was they were so good. They were my favorite cookies ever.
Yeah.
I still will never have a cookie that good. That was amazing. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
That's
I
awesome.
actually I actually remember like milk at my school cost like 25, 35 cents, something like that. And I think I used to do $1.50 for an extra milk because you get a free milk with your lunch. And then I was expecting that cookie. So I would go ahead and pay extra for that cookie and another milk.
Okay. So you were like planning ahead for sure.
Yeah, I admittedly I'm kind of a snob when it comes to chocolate chip cookies. I love them, but I need milk with them. I'm like a toddler with
Mhm.
it. If I don't have milk, I don't want to eat it. I'm kind of a toddler in that regard.
That's so, yeah, I cannot do milk with cookies. I'm sorry. I'm a cookie purist. I can't, but
Really?
I respect your opinion for sure. This is a safe space. So
Okay. All right. I'm not judging you. You're not judging me. We're good. Okay. What's your ideal day off? So you're not writing, you're not singing, you don't have any rehearsals. What's a typical ideal day off for you?
I was about to say writing, but if I'm not writing, I love a farmer's market. That is like my favorite because usually Saturdays are my day off. And I'll go to like multiple, like around my area. There's so much fun. I love to get, if I can get normal household things local, like that's my favorite. Um, I love to go thrifting. That's one of my favorites. Any shopping activity where I have to like search and kind of dig a little bit. That's really fun. And then I do family dinners a lot with my family, and we usually have a little jam session after. And so, family dinner with Levert family music is definitely one of my favorite things. So yeah.
That's beautiful. That's awesome. Lake vacation or beach vacation?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go beach. Yeah,
There
I
was
love
only
the
one, there was only one right answer.
See, but if you were to say beach or mountains, then I would have to say mountains. So
Really? How come?
yeah. Well, I went to high school in North Carolina, and so I was pretty close to the mountains when I lived out there. But I've just always loved the mountains. We did different family trips, and any of the northern vacations, those were always my favorite growing up. I don't know, just love the vibe.
Is that the Appalachian? Is that
In North Carolina, don't ask me that. I can't remember.
you're like, I don't know geography. Don't
No,
ask
wait,
me
yeah,
that.
yes, it is because the college out there is App State. So yeah,
Look
it
at
is.
Come on, Nathaniel, using that high school education right now. There we go. You did it. Perfect.
Mine glitched for a second, but it's okay. We got there. We got
All
there.
right. I love it. I love it. Lost in space or lost at sea?
Oh, lost at sea. I don't understand why anyone goes into space. That is so, I could never. That is so scary to me. Any of those movies where people get like stuck, I cannot do it. I would so much rather be lost at sea, just floating around, waiting for someone to save me, getting a little tan. That, yeah, lost at sea for sure.
Really? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I feel like I'm a lost in space kind of guy. I can be friends with an alien if I see them. How's it going? Hey,
Yeah.
I'm no threat. You're no threat. Let's be friends. Can I
Only
interview
I feel
you?
like you would. You would do a podcast with an alien
I
for
totally
sure.
would. I totally somehow all my equipment would also be lost with me. Don't know how, but it would be. Yeah.
You thought ahead,
I
right?
did, I did, I did. I'm afraid of the sea. I am, and
Really?
I think I'm more afraid of. I love beaches. Don't get me wrong, but I have to be able to see the water. If I can't see, not for me. So I'm always, waist below kind of guy. I'll never really dip because there's only
Interesting.
there's only too many times I can touch a seaweed and I freak out. My
No,
reaction
that's so real.
it is my reaction for touching a bunch of seaweed is the same for as if it's a 20-foot shark. It's the same reaction. I'm terrified. And so I'm not a big fan of the ocean. I like it. I would also choose beach vacation as well, funny enough, even because I like walking on the sand, but there's just parts of the ocean that are so dark that they scare me.
It's
So
spooky.
I'd be afraid of being lost at sea. I almost feel like I'd like to potentially get to another galaxy in space. That's where my
Yeah.
head's at. So I don't know. You know what? You tell me your ventures. We'll both keep journals. You can keep your journal, and then somehow, some way, I'll find a way back onto Earth, and we'll do a part 27 at this
Yeah.
point.
We'll
And
compare notes for
yeah,
sure.
the Olympics just wrapped up not too long ago. But if you could compete in any event, what would you choose?
Ooh, that's a great question. I feel like just because of my like competitive nature, I would vibe with the gymnasts. Also just if I could do what they can do, like that would be so cool. But I feel like I'm definitely too tall for that. Like I'm 5'10" and I'm not built to be gymnast, but I think what they do is so beautiful and I that's like my favorite event to watch. So if I could, I would be a gymnast. So
Have
yeah.
you ever done gymnastics?
Oh no. No, no, no. I did do dance as a kid, but it did not stick. I was like a kid ballerina and then I was like, this is stupid. And then I started to play piano. So, it worked out. But
Yeah,
yeah,
God
not talented in the dance or gymnastics world at all.
God had a plan for you. Not talented in the sports. He didn't want he made it clear that you were not going to be athletically skilled. He wanted you
Yeah.
to be musically gifted.
Well, and it's so funny because my mom is like 6 feet tall, super athletic. She played basketball, softball, and volleyball all through college, and is in her college's like sports hall of fame thing, and is like a crazy athlete, and like you can tell just by looking at her. And then she had 3 daughters, and we're all musicians, and there's no athletes. So
Is your
yeah.
mom musically inclined?
She is. Everyone in my family, both of my parents are musicians, um, mainly in like the church worship scene. So yeah.
So you weren't kidding. You have jam sessions as a family.
Oh yeah.
You were
Yeah,
not
and
kidding.
it's funny because we're all musicians except my older sister is also married, and he's the only non-musician. But he is learning to sing, and he's got a beautiful voice, and he's a good sport when we want to sit around for hours and play music. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if that were my family, I too would also just kind of be the oddball. I'm more of a hey, I'll be in the background, hit you with one of these, and even just support you, being like, whoa, whoa, like. But other
Yeah.
than other than singing, that I like to sing. I like to sing,
Yeah.
and I think I sound good when I'm in the car by myself.
Right.
But in front of people, I don't know. Not
Yeah.
not not my strong suit. Not my
Well, and it's funny because my husband's family, they're also all musicians. And so, and his dad is a worship pastor. And so there's just a whole lot of musical genetics all around me.
A-
So,
and when if and when you choose to have children, God willing, that I'm sure your children will be musically inclined. It'll go one of the two ways. They'll either be really, really good or not want to sing at all. That
yeah,
it's gonna kind of be. It's like when you have two super parents or two super athletes, and then the kid doesn't want to play sports
right.
whatsoever.
Well, and that was me.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I don't know. Me and my husband, we've talked about it. It's like, what are we gonna do if they want to play basketball? Basketball. I'm gonna be like, I don't know anything about basketball, but I support you.
yeah.
So, but
Well, your
who
height, right?
knows?
You're a tall person, and your husband's tall, so there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never know. You never know.
Is a fried egg considered fried chicken?
Well, I guess it comes from a chicken. I kind of want to say yes, but I'm going to go with yes, but that's kind of morbid to think about.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I think so because it comes from a chicken.
yeah,
So,
I agree. I agree.
wait, that's so funny. I've never thought about that.
This is why I'm here. This is why I do this. I do this to think about these things. I sit at night writing things in little notes on questions and things to ask. This is why I come up with this stuff.
Well, last time you made me overthink how dogs would wear pants, and so now I'll overthink is a fried egg, fried chicken. So we're good.
What is a singing ick?
A singing ick.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Wait, I have to think about it, but I don't want to be mean to anybody. Wait, hold on. Let me think about it.
Because I've got one from seeing it in a concert.
You say yours first.
Okay. I'm not a singer, nor will I ever be. And I'm sure that there's a reason for this. But I
Hmm.
went to a concert one time, and I will not say the artist because I don't want to be mean.
Yeah, don't say the artist.
So I'll display on the camera here. They sang and they were this close to the mic. And
Mm-mm.
and to me, I felt like that was an ick. I was like, and then the person right after sang that close, and I was like, did nobody think to sterilize that or anything? That's where my brain.
No, that's so real. Like, there's so many times where like I have to use a mic after somebody, whether it's like at church or something, and I'm like, y'all got hand sanitizer or something? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you just have to not think about it too hard. Mics are disgusting, actually. But I'm trying to think. I think mine will have to be when singers sing with a specific accent that's not their real accent. And I'm not talking about when like British singers sing American, like that doesn't bother me. When it's like cursive singing, do you know what I mean when I say cursive singing?
No, what's cursive singing?
I will not be given an example, but those of you listening, look up cursive singing on TikTok. And it's a very specific sound that is usually not a singer's natural sound. And so that usually bothers me just a little bit, but I respect the grind and I respect that you like how you sound. So go you, cursive singers.
So just to be clear, Zoe, you're not gonna just for the people, the audience of the Rays Reflection, you're not gonna go ahead and try to demonstrate cursive
I'm gonna
singing.
hold off. I'm
Okay.
gonna hold off on that one. But if you
Okay.
guys want to look it up on TikTok, do your thing.
Man, I was hoping for a preview. No, okay.
I feel like if I give you a preview, you're gonna know who I'm talking about. So I'm gonna hold on.
Okay, there you go. Understood. Understood. Comfort TV show.
Gilmore Girls.
Oh, it's about that time too. Sweater weather.
Yes. Yes. You get
Pumpkin
it.
Spice, Gilmore
Um,
Girls.
but
Yeah.
specifically because me and my sisters, that's like our show. We would always watch it growing up when we all lived in the same house, and so it's very nostalgic for me. And yeah, I love that show, and I don't care that that's basic of me. It's basic for a reason. So
I remember coming home from school and seeing it on ABC Family at the time. Now I think it's
yeah,
Freeform, but at the time it was ABC Family, and I would pop into an episode here and there. So I'm with
it's
it.
good.
Yeah.
I also like New Girl. That's the show that my husband and I watched together when we first started dating. So now anytime when we rewatch it, that's like nostalgic for us. So yeah.
It's funny. So I used to work with someone who said, "Have you ever watched New Girl?" And I said, "No." And she goes, "Well, you're the exact combination of Nick, Schmidt," and she said, and Winston." And I go,
Oh,
"Wait, what? How am I all three characters in one?" And then I watched some of it, and I was like, I could see why you would say that because
yeah,
Nick is sarcastic, but it's underlying, and
yeah,
Schmidt's just very witty and goofy, and then Winston is just very. Winston is my favorite though. I love Winston. Yeah, and Coach.
yeah.
Do you remember Coach? I like Coach. He was a
I
fun one.
loved Coach. He was such a
Yeah,
great character.
yeah. Coach
Yeah.
was a good introduction. I liked him a lot.
I
I like.
feel like my husband and I are very CC and Schmidt vibes.
Yeah.
And anyone who knows us can attest to that. So yeah,
Oh, so you're CC and he's Schmidt. That is
for
hilarious.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
You do give me CC vibes. You do give me CC vibes.
I'm very protective, of my people. I resonate with that. So yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Most definitely. All right, we're gonna play Family Feud. Dun, 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 dun. All right, that's my
That's
makeshift.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. I did cursive singing for you. No, too, too soon. Too soon. Too soon. Okay. All right. Name something that holds you back.
Seatbelt.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Seat.
Is that a good answer?
Good answer. Good answer. I'm gonna say it is because that's what they that's what they always say, right? They always like good
Good
answer. Good
answer.
answer.
Good answer.
Best place to cry.
Green room.
Green room.
Well, that's probably not a good Family Feud answer, but that's a good Zoe answer.
Okay, so green room. I love how you're like not a good Family Feud answer, but Zoe, yes.
Not a good answer. Bad answer.
That would be one of those ones that the people you're with your family would be like, good answer, knowing that it's gonna be a X.
It's an X. That's funny.
All right. Name something a cheap couple would tell you to bring to their wedding because they don't want to pay for it.
Alcohol? Maybe.
All right.
BYOB.
All right. I like it. Perfect. Okay. Awesome.
I did
All
not
right.
make my guests pay for alcohol. Just wanted to add. It was
Okay.
provided.
There you go. There you go. You're not in this cheap. wedding couple.
No, no.
Okay. Do you want to change any of your answers? Do you want to change seatbelt or do you want to change green room to more of
let
a
me
family answer?
let me change the green room
Okay.
to shower. I feel like
Okay.
that's more common.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean by green room? Like backstage?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. No,
Some
I knew
people
it.
don't know what that means, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it was also a good Nathaniel answer. I respect.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay, so you said seatbelt. That was actually the fourth one. You would think it was higher,
Okay.
but it was kids that was number one, which is a little crazy that you would say that. Work was second, spouse was third, and then it was rope or seatbelt. So then it was a
That's
more
so
literal.
depressing.
I
Oh
know,
my
isn't it? Isn't
gosh.
it? I know, right? I asked 100 people on the street. This is what they said. No, I didn't. I did some online Family Feud generator. Okay. Best place to cry, you said shower. That was the second answer.
Okay.
The first one was when you're laying in bed. So people will just, I guess,
Okay.
cry. Yeah, like that TikTok where Stewie says, "I shall get some sleep," and then turns over. And just
Yeah.
I didn't like the third answer. The third one was movie theater. I was like, I've never gone to a movie theater and cried, but I thought maybe they were
No.
thinking that you cry because of the movie. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Oh yeah. Maybe.
Car was the fourth one. At your
Period.
at your friend's house was fifth, and then in the closet, which was sixth. Which I would have said green room for closet. So I'm glad you switched that in.
Not in the closet. That's so funny.
Right? You're like, oh, all right, I'm gonna go change real quick, and then you go in your walk-in closet, and all of a sudden you're
And
gone
you
for
just
30 minutes. I can picture it too. That's a sad thing. Okay. And name something that a cheap couple would tell you to bring to their wedding because they don't want to pay for it. Alcohol and drinks was the number one answer. There you go. It
period.
was, and then behind it was cake and food, cash, flowers or decorations, their own plates, and a chair. Okay.
What?
Yeah. I
That's crazy. If I was invited to a wedding and they said bring your own chair, I would respectfully decline. But
So would I. I think I'd
that's
be like,
just
all right,
me.
yeah. I think I'd be like, all right. Well, you know what? I'll send my best wishes in the mail. All right.
Right.
There you go.
Not the lawn chair wedding. That's crazy.
The lawn chair wedding in the backyard. Hey, I mean, hey, maybe they're just balling on a budget, right? We don't know.
Maybe. No judgment. No judgment.
I'm gonna add this to the screen. Okay, and I think it was the dog pants one. Remember that? Yes. Okay,
Oh
let's.
yeah.
All right. What is the next bite in the sandwich? So you have A, B, or C. What are you taking?
This is so fun. I'm gonna go C.
C.
Confidently. Confidently and proudly I'm gonna go C.
Oh, you're a psychopath. Really? The
What?
crust? No, I'm just kidding.
What would you say?
All right, I'm gonna add it back. Hold on, hold on. I gotta remove it now.
Yeah.
All right. So see, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. C is a credible answer because then it makes B that
It's
much more.
even.
It makes B that much more worth it. A is the one that I was teasing. A, I think, is just the crazy answer. Like, why are you going just straight up crust?
Not A. Yeah.
That's wild. I feel like I would personally have gone B, but that's just me. That's just me. I especially if it was a peanut butter jelly sandwich, I want that big bite of that peanut butter in there. That's what it
All
is.
right. I respect it. I
Yeah.
respect it. I was very confident about my C answer, but you know, safe
Confident.
space. Safe space.
Yes. Yeah. No judgment. No judgment. That's right. That's right. You're basically a co-host at this point. Part two means
Oh,
you
perfect.
basically.
The Levert reflection, actually.
That's- I got a chat pack for you. I'm gonna ask you a
Okay.
random. I'm gonna ask you a random question on the chat pack. Okay. Let's see what this says here. If you could go to sleep tonight and wake up tomorrow older than what you are right now, what age would you want to be in when you wake up? That's an interesting.
Older than what I am right now?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay, I am really looking forward to 30. My husband and I say this all the time. Um, I just stability in the career, maybe in a house, maybe with a little dog running around, maybe with the Grammy on the fireplace, all the things. But also like nerdy fact, like your voice continues to develop into your 30s. And so you're at your vocal prime in your 30s. Um, but I don't know. 30 just seems a lot more like chill than 20s. And so, yeah, my husband and I are always like, it's okay. This will be better when we're 30. So yeah, 30.
For someone who just turned 30 this past year, I feel so proud that you just said that. Like
Yeah.
I am right because even hearing that I'm in my vocal prime right now,
Yeah.
hearing these things, I'm like, you know what? I'm in my
Yeah.
prime. I'm in my prime.
But I
I do.
also like feel like it'll be so fun to be like 70. And like me and my sisters are just like old ladies like knitting and like going to bingo. Like that seems so I'm actually an old lady at heart and all I want to do is just like sit at home.
And still jamming out, right? You
Right.
still do your family jam out sessions where you go
Right.
ahead and everyone's,
With
you know,
all the grandkids. Yeah.
that's right. Yes, yes, the continued genetics. And you said your sister has a husband that isn't really a singer, right?
Yeah, he's not musical.
No. By that point, he's gonna be able to grab a mic and just go ahead and
Oh yeah. Well, and he is learning guitar and he's learning how to sing. So by then he'll be better than all of us.
yeah, yeah. I tried to learn guitar. I did. I did.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
YouTube University.
No, at just stringing here by myself and just trying to learn it, And I felt like I know what a chord is. I know what
Yeah.
chord is, and music is just hard for me. I'm not I really I give you all so much credit. I genuinely think that you all can access like a part of your brain that like other people cannot.
Yeah.
Maybe that's I don't know. Maybe that's not true. I don't know. But I've because I've always tried to be musically inclined because I like
Yeah.
I can practice, etc. I remember playing the recorder in elementary school, and I could play a mean hot cross buns though. I could, and so I remember that. But then afterwards, I was in band in middle school, and I did the saxophone. I
Okay.
liked it. Yes, I
That's
liked it,
cool.
but I didn't like the feeling of the reed. I didn't like it, and
Yeah.
then I stopped afterwards. And then from that point on, I thought guitar was the coolest one. So I tried to do guitar, and I like it. But then I'm a baby because then all of a sudden I was getting calluses, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, that feels weird. I don't know if I like that. But I still have my acoustic guitar. I just don't use it all the time.
That's fair. I will say the calluses get better after a few weeks. But I don't know. For me, it was like I think I owe a lot of my music knowledge to my parents, like my dad specifically, because I just started. Not a lot of people know this about me. I started to just kind of learn piano by ear and just by trial and error growing up, and then my dad taught me once he saw that I had an interest in it. And I always think about like if no one would have noticed that I took an interest in piano, like I wouldn't be a musician today. And so I always credit him a lot for that because he really helped me with that. But
Shout out pops. Yeah,
shout
shout out.
out dad. Thanks for that. Thanks for noticing me, I guess.
Thanks for giving me attention, Dad.
Yeah, thanks for caring about me, dad.
Zoe, once you plug yourself in again, how can the people find you, see all the cool stuff that you've been up to, see the show that you're going to be performing in about a month? How can the folks find you?
Yeah, so on social media, it is Zoe Levert on all platforms. Zoe with two E's because Zoe with one E was and still is taken. So we're Zoe with two E's. Um, and then for my Louisiana people or anyone who feels like traveling, I will be at the Basin in downtown Baton Rouge on September 20th. I will be headlining an event with another band called Free Therapy. They're also super amazing as well. And yeah, just find me on social media to be up to date with anything I may or may not definitely be releasing in the near future. Um, and yeah, so we're all just getting started. So stick around.
Well, Zoe, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, joining me for another episode of the Reyes Reflection podcast. I said assemble and you came through. So thank you so much. And with that, I don't know if you know anything about Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you do, but they do this thing where if you are a third timer, you get a gold jacket or something to that effect. It might be more than that. But on the Reyes Reflection, if you're a two timer, you get a shirt. So I'll figure out how to get the shirt to you. And thank you so much again.
Yay!
You get a Reyes Reflection shirt. So
I'm
thank
so
you again
excited.
for doing this podcast again with me. You are just incredible. I always love doing it. And it was a bummer that it was short the first time. I'm glad that I got to have you for a little longer this time, but you are just a great guest. And, I can't wait for that part 3 because to just see all the great things that you're up to.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I meant it when I said this is one of my favorite interviews that I got to do, and so glad I got to do it again. And I'm excited for my new merch. So excited! I'll definitely be posting about it. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. Well, party animals, we are done for this episode of the Reyes Reflection. Follow me on the social medias at I'm Nathanael Reyes. Check out our wonderful sponsors, A-Rave Cards, Jocko Fuel, Smacking Sunflower Seeds, and Mad Rabbit. And as always, may you live, may you love, and may you thrive. I'm Oprah as a dude, and I love you all.